Good evening, children. Today we are going to start our online classes. So I'm going to take the second lesson. Okay. The title of the lesson is Matter Around Us Pure. In the first chapter, in the previous lesson, we have already learned about what is matter, what are the examples of matter, what are the different states of matter, what are the characteristics of those states, etc., etc. Isn't it? So, do you remember the definition of matter? What is matter? We know that matter, tell me, matter is anything, okay, any substance which needs a space to occupy, and which has a mass, isn't it? So, matter is defined as anything, any substance which needs a space to occupy and which has a mass. Okay, now look at the title. Look at the title of the topic. Is matter around us pure? We know that everything around us, including air, water, soil, what else, oxygen, whatever it is, okay, all of them are matter. Okay. Now the question is, the matter that we see around us, every matter are pure or not? Okay. So what is purity? We know that we are often talk about purity, especially when we go for a shopping. We are very particular about choosing pure substances, pure milk. We'll go to check the label, pure milk, pure ghee, pure orange juice, etc. Isn't it? So we are much concerned about purity. So generally, what does the term purity mean? That means we are pure milk. We are talking about pure milk in the sense no adulteration has done. Nothing is added other than milk. Okay. No water is added to milk. It is pure cow milk. In that sense, we are using the term purity, isn't it? Okay. But in chemistry, but in science, purity is different. Okay. Actually, the pure milk, even though no adulteration has done to the milk is not pure in chemistry. So, what is purity in chemistry? Purity means if a substance is made with only one type of particles, okay, then we can call that substance as a pure substance. That means if you consider a substance and which contain only one type of particles, okay, then we can call it as a pure substance. Okay. Now I can tell that water is a pure substance because water, I told you, water is a pure substance. Water is pure. Because if you take a sample of water contains only water molecules, H2O molecules, isn't it? So you can say that water contains only one type of particles, therefore it is pure. Okay. In the case of milk is impure. Milk is impure. Why milk is impure? Because milk contains water, then what else? Lactose, then fat particles, etc. Isn't it? So milk contains a lot of different types of particles. Therefore, milk is not pure. So we can divide matter into two, based on purity, we can divide into two different types. One is pure and the other one is impure, right? So I am going to write on the board impure and pure, and we are going to classify that one and we will discuss in detail. Based on the type of particles present in a matter, we can divide the matter into two different types, pure substances and impure substances. Okay. So I told you pure substances contain or consist of only one type of particles. So let me write some examples on the board, then we will discuss in detail. Okay. So I am going to write some examples of pure substances here, then we have to categorize here. Okay. So for example, oxygen. Okay. Symbol of oxygen is O2. O2. Okay. Or if you take a piece of aluminium, symbol A. Or if you take an iron nail, symbol is Fe. Okay, so many examples. Or if you take a sample of hydrogen, or if you take a sample of argon, or chlorine, or bromine, iodine, these all are pure substances. Why they are pure substances? Because if you, for example, if you take aluminium, a piece of aluminium, if you analyze it, okay, analyze it through a microscope, you can see that aluminium piece contains only aluminium atoms. That is, that matter, that particular substance contains only one type of particles. Therefore, they are pure. Understood? Or if you take a sample of oxygen and if you analyze that sample, oxygen contains only one type of atoms. What atoms? Oxygen atoms. Okay. Therefore, oxygen, the sample of oxygen is pure. Clear? Okay. Now, you know that these substances contain only one type of atoms, isn't it? Such pure substances, those contain only one type of atoms are called, or which are made up of only one type of atoms are called elements. Okay. So pure substances, one categorization is elements. Okay. What are elements? Elements are pure substances which contain only one type of atoms. You can see a lot of examples. Here I have written oxygen, aluminium, iron, helium, fluorine, chlorine, bromine. What else? In chemistry there is a periodic table in which 118 elements are arranged in a particular order. Okay, that about periodic table you will learn in class 10th in detail. Okay. Now, hope you understood the basic, you got the basic knowledge about the elements. Nothing. Elements are pure substances which contain only one type of atoms. Okay. Remember, atoms. Okay. Now, I will write some more examples for pure substances. Here I will write. I'll write here and write example. Some more examples. Water is a pure substance. H2O. Carbon dioxide is a pure substance. Hydrochloric acid is a pure substance. Okay. Ammonia, NH3 is a pure substance. Why these substances, so many are there, why these substances are pure in nature? Okay. Let's take the sample of H2O, water. If you analyze the sample of water, the particles which show all the properties of water are H2O molecules. Did you understand? Even though water contain two different types of atoms, H2O, hydrogen is there, oxygen is there. They combine. How they combine? They combined by chemical bonding and made into one type of molecule. Okay. Even though they contain two atoms, okay. If you analyze the sample of water molecules, H2O molecules are the particles which show the basic properties, all the basic properties of water. So we can say that water is a pure substance because it is made up of only one type of molecules. Remember the term molecules, okay? Only one type of molecules. So we can say pure substances can be made up of either only one type of atoms or only one type of molecules. Another example, carbon dioxide. So if you take the sample of carbon dioxide, CO2 molecule is the basic particle which shows all the properties of carbon dioxide gas. Is that clear to you? So pure substances are those substances which are made up of only one type of atoms or one type of molecules. Okay. So these examples, I mean, if they are made with only one type of molecules, then we can call it as compounds. Okay. Now what are compounds? Compounds are pure substances, okay, which are made up of only one type of molecules. Okay. Now let's try to write some examples of elements and compounds as we already discussed. For example, oxygen, O2. H2, argon, Ar, okay, helium, He, then iron, Fe, then what else, nickel, Ni, then that you are very familiar with which one, hydrogen, I didn't write, I wrote hydrogen, helium, lithium, sodium, or sodium Na, okay, potassium, K. So many examples are there. From the periodic table you can write lot of examples for elements. Elements are pure substances which contain only one type of atoms. Okay. Now compounds, examples. What are the examples of compounds? Water, CO2, ammonia, then HCl, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, H2SO4, then what else? Then H2CO3, carbonic acid, a lot more. Then one more I'll write HNO3, nitric acid. These all are compounds. Why they are compounds? Because they are made with only one type of molecules. Okay, is that clear? So elements are compounds. Elements and compounds are pure substances, or pure substances can again be classified as elements and compounds depends upon the type of particles, atoms and molecules. Now let's move to impure substances. Okay. So what does impure substance mean? Impure substances are just opposite to pure substances. That is, they contain different types of particles, right? Impure substances are having one more name. You can either call it as impure substances or you can call it as mixtures. Okay, mixtures. Now I'm going to write some examples on the board for impure substances. Okay, I'll take some space from here. So I write some examples here. For example, as we discussed, milk is an impure substance. Suppose we have taken soil. Soil is an impure substance. If we take air, okay, it contains different types of gases. For example, 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% altogether carbon dioxide is there, argon is there, helium is there, hydrogen is there. So air is a mixture of different types of gases, right? Therefore it is an impure substance. It is a mixture. Okay. Another example, suppose you have added sand and salt mixed together. You have taken some sand and you have taken some salt also mixed together. Okay. You got one impure substance, one mixture now. Right? Now I can write salt solution. Salt solution. Why salt solution is impure? Because in salt solution, salt particles are there, sodium chloride particles are there. Also, water particles are there. So two different molecules are there. Sodium chloride molecule is there, also H2O molecule is there, isn't it? Therefore, it is not a pure substance, it is an impure substance, or it is a mixture. Okay. So these are, lot more you can write. So generally I wrote 4 or 5. These are examples of impure substances or mixtures. So from these examples, I am going to take these two examples. Okay, sand, one is this one, sand and salt solution. Just imagine you have mixed some fine sand and salt powder, in the powder form we have mixed well. Okay, and if you analyze the composition, what is the composition? Composition means how they are arranged or how they are spread. Did you understand? So if you analyze, okay, in a particular area, suppose you have seen salt particles are more, can happen, right? In another particular area, maybe sand particles are larger in quantity compared to salt, isn't it? That is, the composition may vary throughout the mixture. Did you understand? Alright. But in a salt solution, if you analyze, if you taste a salt solution, if you mix it well, the taste of salt will be uniform everywhere. You will not feel one particular area much salty and in another particular area less salty, isn't it? Or sugar solution, or lemon juice. If you mixed it, stirred it well, the taste will be uniform everywhere. Okay. So here, based on the composition, did you understand what is composition? How the different, anyway in a mixture different types of particles are there. So that is how they are distributed in the mixture. Okay, the way of distribution of particles in a mixture. Mixtures can be again classified into two different types. Okay, right here, if they are distributed evenly or uniformly, like salt solution. Okay, I told you, in a salt solution, salt and water are mixed in a uniform way. Did you understand? In a particular area, the taste of salt is not more or less. Everywhere it tastes like the same. Okay, so that type of distribution is called, composition is called homogeneous, and such a mixture is called homogeneous mixtures. Now the second case is sand and salt. Okay, so if you take the example of sand and salt, if you try to mix in any way, okay, and if you analyze it, the composition of the distribution of sand particles and salt particles will not be uniform. If you try it in any way, it will not become uniform, isn't it? Therefore, such a mixture, okay, in which the composition is non-uniform is called heterogeneous mixture. What is that? Heterogeneous mixture. Homo, the word meaning of homo is same and hetero is different. Okay. So what is homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures? So mixtures can be classified into two different types based on the arrangement of particles or the distribution of particles, right? If they are in a uniform way, I mean different types of particles are arranged in a particular, in a uniform way, then they are called homogeneous mixtures, like a solution. Okay, if you make a salt solution or sugar solution, or if you take a copper sulfate solution, so whatever solutions you made, they all will become homogeneous in nature. Okay, the distribution will be uniform. And the second case, heterogeneous, meaning non-uniform distribution. If you try it in any way, the distribution will not be similar. Example, milk is a heterogeneous mixture. Soil is a heterogeneous mixture, but air is a homogeneous mixture. Why? If you take a sample of air, okay, at normal atmospheric pressure, that contain 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen. They are mixed in a uniform way, and 1% altogether other gases. So air is a homogeneous mixture. You understood the reason? Then sand and salt, heterogeneous. Salt solution is again homogeneous in nature because of its uniform composition. Okay. Now, homogeneous mixtures are also called true solutions. Okay. They are also called, right here. Rub this one. So homogeneous mixtures are also called true solutions. Okay, true solutions. And here the second one was heterogeneous mixtures. They are again classified into two different types. They are colloids and suspensions. Okay, so heterogeneous mixtures, I mean, if a mixture is having non-uniform composition, they are again classified as colloids and suspensions. Remember, these true solution, colloid and suspensions these classifications are based on the size of the particles that we are going to discuss in the coming class. So our concentration will be on impure substances in this chapter. We don't want pure substances in this chapter. It's over. We'll discuss it later. Compounds and elements. Okay. In this chapter we are going to discuss about mixtures. Two different types of mixtures are there. Homogeneous and heterogeneous. That's all about today's class. We will continue in the next class. The time is already 11:15 p.m. at night. Actually today I couldn't do the recording in the morning, so I did it at night. Anyway, we'll continue tomorrow the class again. Till then, take care and bye-bye. Good night.